They called it the Uber of scooters. In just 1 year, it became the fastest startup in history to reach a $1 billion valuation. And just 5 years later, it was bankrupt. This is the story of Bird Global, the company that tried to replace cars with scooters, raised hundreds of millions from top VCs, flooded cities around the world, and then lost almost everything. A 97% shareholder wipeout, hundreds of lawsuits, and Apollo, the investment giant, walking away with the keys. What happened to Bird is not just a story of failure. It's a case study in how hype, speed, and debt can collide, and how the same infrastructure that built a unicorn became collateral in a loan-to-own deal. It all started in 2017. Santa Monica. Travis van der Zanden, a former Uber and Lyft executive, launched Bird with one simple idea: replace short car trips with electric scooters. 10 scooters. That's all it took. Within a week, thousands of rides. Within 6 months, 50,000 people had taken 250,000 rides. Investors went crazy. Series A, $15 million from Craft Ventures. Series B, $100 million just 24 days later. Series C, $300 million at a $2 billion valuation, led by Sequoia Capital. Bird became the fastest unicorn ever. By 2019, they'd raised more than $750 million, operated in 120 cities, and even bought a European rival, Cirque, to speed up global expansion. The vision was bold: make scooters part of everyday city life. For a moment, it looked unstoppable.
Flying across Shaw Avenue, Dylan Bogosian uses his Bird to get around.
I'm on my way home, and there were still three there. No one touched them, so I just killed some time and just rode around.
But behind that glossy growth chart, the math was already breaking. Bird's expansion strategy was what Silicon Valley calls blitzscaling. Grow first, figure out the rest later. They dropped scooters into cities without permission, literally overnight. Santa Monica sued them. San Francisco impounded hundreds of scooters. Other cities followed. Then came vandalism. People threw scooters into rivers. Instagram pages like @BirdGraveyard went viral, showing piles of broken scooters.
Bird sent us a statement saying when Bird vehicles are vandalized or knocked over on the sidewalk, it's like breaking windows in our own neighborhood. The company says they hope that people report vandalism when they see something is wrong.
And injuries skyrocketed. Head trauma, broken bones, lawsuits.
McKinney Avenue. I could have ended up in ICU. Thankfully, I just ended up in the ER. Unthankfully, it cost me a lot. It cost me a lot of money.
Insurance premiums soared. Maintenance costs exploded. But the real problem wasn't regulation. It was economics. Each scooter cost around $500 to build and lasted only 29 days. In that time, it made back maybe $67. Bird was losing $430 per scooter. For every city they entered, they lost more money. Still, investors kept funding the dream until the music stopped. Bird tried to fix its numbers. They launched Bird Zero, a sturdier, longer-lasting model. Payback period dropped from 216 days to around 100. On paper, they finally had positive unit economics. But the bigger picture was ugly. By the time Bird went public via SPAC in 2021, revenue was just $200 million, and cash burn was more than $300 million a year. They went public at a $2.3 billion valuation.
Travis, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Now, your stock, BRDS, trading down about 10% this morning. What's your message to investors about what's next for the company?
Within minutes, the stock dropped 14%. By 2023, it had fallen below $15 million in market cap, from unicorn to penny stock. Internally, costs were out of control. 96% of revenue went to overhead. R&D alone ate 16%. And when interest rates spiked, their debt, financed by Apollo's mid-cap financial, suddenly cost more than 14% a year. Bird had built a cash-eating machine, and now the capital markets were closed. Desperate for liquidity, Bird issued new convertible notes to Yorkville Advisors and Antara Capital. But by mid-2023, cash was down to $3 million. That's when Apollo made its move. Remember that scooter financing deal? It gave Apollo a first lien claim on nearly all of Bird's assets: the scooters, the IP, the revenue streams. In December 2023, Bird filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Apollo and Yorkville financed a $25 million deep loan and then credit bid their debt to buy the company for just $136 million. At its peak, Bird was worth $2 billion. Apollo got it for 7 cents on the dollar. VCS? Wiped out. Shareholders? Zero recovery. Cities? Still suing. But Apollo? They now own the entire fleet. Out of bankruptcy, the company was reborn as Third Lane Mobility. New leadership, new strategy. Stuart Lyons, formerly of Bird Canada, took over operations. Michael Washanushi, ex-CFO of Spin, handled the numbers. And within a year, something incredible happened. Positive EBITDA, $19 million. For the first time in its history, Bird made money. How? Not one big fix, 50 small ones. Lyon said, that $50 million swing came from 50 decisions, not one. They pulled out of unprofitable cities, renegotiated SIM card contracts, cut overhead, and partnered with Lyft to integrate scooters into its app. By 2024, the entity once known as Bird, now operating as Third Lane Mobility, had become smaller, undeniably leaner, and significantly smarter. It proved beyond a doubt that the micromobility dream was viable. It just needed the right hands at the wheel. Meanwhile, rival Lime quietly perfected the same business. It stayed private, avoided public market pressure, built in-house operations, and focused on profitability first. In 2024, Lime made $140 million in EBITDA. Proof the model could work. Bird's story wasn't doomed by scooters. It was doomed by speed, spending, and ego. Bird Global is a cautionary tale for every startup chasing scale before sustainability. It reminds us that being first doesn't matter if you can't last. The same scooters that made Bird a unicorn became the collateral that gave Apollo control. The same growth that made headlines.
They look pretty nice. I mean, I'm just thinking about getting my friends to come with me and take.
For me, it's not a big deal. It's like I see them all over the place, all over town, you know, they're haunting every corner.
Became the debt that killed it.
Well, UGA's Bird battle is on hold. The scooters have been banned from campus, well, at least for now.
In the end, Bird didn't die from failure. It died from refusing to slow down. Lesson: hype builds companies. Economics keep them alive.